This newspaper article is a sad commentary on the gradual deterioration of Earth's environment. Our planet is no longer a pleasant place to live in. Fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands need to be preserved and protected. The article suggests that we should try to limit the rise in population and stop the perpetuation of poverty. The Green Movement, started in 1972, is the only hope for the survival of this planet as well as that of the human race.
The Holocene has ended. What we do now and in the next few years will profoundly affect the next few thousand years. The only conditions modern humans have ever known so far are changing, and changing fast.
Nothing stays the same on this planet. Everything changes. The Earth is going into one of these jumps, and you don't know what is going to be on the other side of those jumps. The Earth is always jumping. Things move on this planet. Things are not still. Everything is turning.
As it begins to run out of fuel, the sun won't simply fade away to nothing. Its core will collapse, and the extra heat this generates will cause its outer layers to expand.
Coming back to the topic, let's see about Green Movement. The Green Movement, which started in 1972, is one of the most important movements that captivated the imagination of the entire human race. At that time, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand.
The Greens emerged as a new political force in the 1970s in several European countries, following the development of the Green movement in other parts of the world.
In reality, the first Greens emerged in Australia and New Zealand. I think it's there where the name Green was used for the first time for a movement, a political movement. And very quickly it swapped over to Europe, and the first Green Party with some institutional success was a group of Swiss Greens. So between the second half of the 70s and the first 80s, the Green movement began to grow in several parts in Europe. In general, we say, when we look at the way what was behind the emergence of the Greens, it's clear that environmental preoccupation and protection was the key issue, but it was not the only one. It was also the women's rights. It was the problem of peace and disarmament. It was the problem of solidarity with the Third World.
Along with the emergence of the Green parties in Europe, the first direct elections at the European Parliament took place in 1979. On this occasion, the coordination of European Green and Radical parties, CEGRP, was set up to coordinate the participation of these parties in the European elections, although no Green in this instance entered the parliament. Soon after, though, a range of new Green parties were founded.
In the 80s were found the German Greens, probably the most important at that time, but at the same time the Greens emerged in Belgium, in the Netherlands.
In 1984, the restructured European Green Coordination, EGC, was set up with a secretariat, provided by the Dutch political party of radicals.
Now let's see about sustainable development. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. It defined the idea of the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. It means that we should pursue development for our present needs, but we should be careful about the needs of the future generations.
I'm only a child, yet I know we are all in this together and should act as one single world towards one single goal.
There is enough for everybody's need, but not for anybody's greed.
We are facing something profoundly important. We have never faced this before.
The term green economy itself suggests an emphasis on the dual ecological and economic dimensions of a solution. But the definition provided, I think, particularly by UNEP, is one that does explicitly incorporate social goals. To quote, "A green economy is one that results in improved human well-being and social equity, while significantly reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities, based upon a combination of low-carbon growth, resource efficiency, and social inclusivity." So in a broad interpretation, this may approximate the notion of sustainable development.
Now let's take a look on how humans' dominance on the animals have affected their population as well as other biological systems like fisheries, forests, grasslands and croplands are being deteriorated day by day due to the rising needs of human population.
We are pushing populations of animals so low that there isn't really the resilience for them to bounce back in the face of catastrophic change. The last time we saw changes like this, we weren't the dominant species on the planet. Now we're in the dominant species on the planet. We are a geological force, and we are driving species extinct. The reason why we have 20,000 populations, but only 4,400 species, is because some of those species have multiple populations. And so when we talk about populations declining, we're talking about the difference between a species on one side of a mountain range versus another side of the mountain range. Same species, but they're different populations. The reason why we care about populations is because populations are what tell us about the health of an ecosystem. So the biggest losses we're seeing are in Latin America, in South America, and Central America, and it's largely due to declines in amphibians. Habitat destruction across the world is number one. Number two is species exploitation. So that's when wild animals are pulled out of their wild habitats and then sold for food or sold for pets.
The ancient inheritance of tropical forests is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres per year. The growing use of dung for combustion deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. There are many drawbacks of rising use of these forest products. So now let's see first how an example of Amazon forest can scare us. As we can see using this example that how bad we are using the forests.
For example, farming, mining, and logging are already responsible for 3 football fields worth of deforestation per minute. If we don't do anything to stop this, the Amazon rainforest will disappear eventually. And we'd lose any chance we have in the battle against climate change. The Amazon rainforest is one of the most incredible places on Earth. It covers 40% of South America, drives the South American economy, and stores 86 billion tons of carbon that would otherwise be polluting our atmosphere. With an area that's this important, you'd think we would do everything in our power to protect it. But we don't. Since 1978, an estimated 750,000 square kilometers of rainforest have been destroyed, all thanks to humans. If this trend continues, the Amazon rainforest could disappear within 100 years. How bad would that be for our planet? Well, let's take a look. For starters, we'd be losing a huge amount of our planet's biodiversity. The Amazon rainforest has more plant and animal species than any other terrestrial ecosystem on Earth. If we destroy the Amazon, we'll be destroying all that diversity too, and wiping out an entire ecosystem at the same time. That would have huge effects on Earth. We'd all quickly realize how much we've been relying on the Amazon's resources for food and medicine.
Fun fact: planet Earth is 4.5 billion years old, mankind about 140,000 years old. Let me put that in perspective. If you condense the Earth's lifespan into 24 hours, that's one full day, then we have been here on this planet for, drum roll please, 3 seconds. Yeah, only 3 seconds. And look what we have done. We have modestly named ourselves Homo sapiens, meaning wise man. But is man really so wise? Smart, yes, and it's good to be smart, but not too smart for your own good. Yes, we have split the atoms. Yes, we build clever machines that navigate the universe in search for new homes. But at the same time, those atoms split created nuclear warfare. In our quest to explore the galaxy rejects and neglects the home that we have here now. So no, that cannot be wisdom. Wisdom is different. While intelligence speaks, wisdom listens, and we willingly covered our ears to Mother Nature's screams and closed our eyes to all of her health-pointed signs. Wisdom knows that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if we were wise, we would not be shocked. We see storms that are stronger than ever before, and more droughts, hurricanes and wildfire than ever before, because there is more pollution than ever before, more carbon, more trees cut down than ever before. At a record pace, we have increased the extinction of animals by 1,000 times the normal rate. What a feat! In the next 10 to 100 years, every beloved animal character in every children's books is predicted to go extinct. Lions gone, rhinos gone, tiger, gorilla, elephant, polar bear gone in 3 seconds. Species that have been here longer than us will be gone because of us in these 3 seconds. And in existence shorter than a wine video, we turn the circle of life into our own personal conveyor belt. Somebody, anybody, help! We were given so much, the only planet in the solar system with life. I mean, we are 1 in a million. No, actually, scientifically, we are 1 in a billion, trillion. That's the one that followed by 33 zeros. And I don't want to get too spiritual, but how are we not a miracle? We are perfectly positioned to the sun so we don't burn, but not too distant so we don't turn to ice. We are family. Literally everything, every species is connected genetically from the sunflower to the sunfish, and this is what we must recognize before it's too late. Because the real crisis means not the global warming, environmental destruction or any animal culture. It is us. These problems are symptoms of us. Byproducts of us are in a reflection. Loss of connection has created this misdirection. We have forgotten that everything contributes to the perfection of Mother Nature. Corporations keeps us unaware and disconnected, but they have underestimated our strength. Contrary to popular belief, millions are waking up out of their sleep, saying our home being taken right up under our feet. We cannot allow our history to be written by the greedy and loony. It is our duty to protect Mother Nature from those who refuse to see her beauty. Call me crazy, but I believe we should have the right to eat food that's safe with ingredients. We can pronounce drink water that is clean, marvel at trees, breather free of toxins. These are natural rights, not things that can be bargained for in Congress. See, they want you to feel powerless, but it has been said that something as small as the flutter of the butterfly's wing can cause the typhoon halfway around the world. When enough people come together, the two will make waves and watch the world into a new era filled with love and connection. Freedom for all without oppression. But it is up to you, yes, you watching this behind the screen, to make the effort, because time is of the essence and only together we can make it to the 4th second.